just when you think IGN and some of the bigger websites covering games, films, and fantasy fiction can be trusted, they go on and do something incredibly, incredibly stupid, even by IGN standards. So it's been recently reported, including by IGN, that Florence Pugh will likely be playing Irulan. At this point, they're only talks, and most people, including myself, just reported the basics that Pugh is being considered for Irulan and left it at that, because we still don't know many things. And to be fair, Denis is not, strictly speaking, following the book all the way, at least if part 1 is any indication. But IGN decided to go a little further and say that Irulan will be Paul's love interest in Dune Part 2, which, of course, if you've read the books, sounds a little strange. Now, this isn't totally groundless. If you saw the sci-fi version, they kind of made it a little bit more ambiguous. Definitely on the Irulan side, she does have feelings for Paul, and Paul's a little bit more mixed. But in the canonical version, in the book itself, in the first novel, he seems very definitive. And even the Lynch version was also pretty definitive that Paul does not love Irulan. It's a political marriage. It's not meant to be a lover or romantic interest that he has in Irulan.
The princess shall have no more of me than my name. No child of mine, nor touch, nor softness of glance, nor instant of desire. This is my promise to you, my love.
Think on it, Johnny. We who carry the name of concubine, history will call us wives.
And that's very important because this is a key part of the plot in Dune Messiah and affects the rest of the story. Now, that said, you could interpret it in a way as a romance. Again, there's a lot of aspects of unreliable narration. But again, going with even the Lynch version, this is kind of a stretch. So, being nice, maybe IGN is just working off a certain interpretation. Maybe even they know things. Maybe they have something on the script we're not aware of. But more likely than not, IGN just messed up and they had somebody who didn't really understand the books or doesn't really know Dune, doesn't even know Dune the movies apparently, and they put out something really crazy and stupid. And they've been getting a lot of humorous comments from fans on both Facebook and Twitter. And if you follow IGN consistently, they occasionally do these things where they put out something that is so factually or dubious and untrue that you're like, how in the world did they report this stuff? It's a very big corporation now. It has millions and millions of subscribers. They're just going to pump out material and content, whether or not it makes any sense. In fact, Daniel Green had a recent funny thing. To be fair, not on IGN, but on a similar site, and how they just screwed up. And this is not even the books, but watching Wheel of Time, they just didn't know what they were talking about. So you can kind of look at it both ways. Obviously, it's just good to laugh at them and just sort of go with the meme that the IGN stands for ignorance and that kind of thing. And this is proving it again, that they really have no idea what the hell they're talking about. And with Dune itself, they were pretty critical, giving it a 7 out of 10. Now, I myself don't even mind the rating. It's just the basis for the rating seems to always be with them that they have this huge MCU bias. And if films or even games don't conform to this kind of MCU fun, jokes, light-hearted tone, if it's even a little too complex or demands a little bit too much attention, they get really, really angry and judge the material as inferior or lacking. When the material is just fine, you just don't understand it. You should just say, I don't really understand this. I really don't understand the lore. I don't understand the books. The way I see it, it would be a better story if Irulan was a love interest. That's all fine. I'm sure some people in the Dune fandom want Irulan to be Paul's lover. But as far as I know, Paul is not her lover. They're not romantically entangled. And it's just a strictly political marriage. That's it. You just don't know what the hell you're talking about. And maybe you should stick to what you're good at, which I guess is reviewing Sonic games. And that seems to be the intellectual level you're comfortable with. But once you go beyond that, IGN is going to say the most crazy, stupid stuff. And all we can do is just kind of grin and laugh at them and be like, well, that's an interesting take. I don't think that's how it works, but it's nice that you put in your 2 cents. But I don't think that's how it's going to work out. But we'll wait and see. Because he's not following the book strictly. So maybe you throw a curveball and she will be a love interest. But I highly doubt it. I think they'll stick at least to a range within the books. And yeah, the Timothée love interest with Irulan, probably not going to happen. But we'll have to wait and see.